And now it's time for Ag on 8, where we share ag news impacting you. Well, first, a previous president for the Illinois Farm Bureau is back as the organization's 17th president. Farm Week reports that Philip Nelson beat Ogle County's Brian Duncan for Duncan's run at the second term as president. Nelson served as the organization's president for 10 years, and he also served as Illinois Director of Agriculture in 2015. On the other side of the river, the Iowa Farm Bureau re-elected their president, Brent Johnson. Well, here locally, Nestle Purina is investing in the future of animal health care in our region. The company is giving a $30,000 grant to the North Scott Community School District. Now, this will support the Small Animal and Veterinary Assistance Program, and the grant will fund modern veterinary tools, preparing students for careers caring for both health pets and livestock.
There's a dire need for veterinarians and people working in the vet tech industry, and we're building that capacity here at North Scott for the whole county, not just North Scott. We have students from the surrounding school districts.
The program is supported by local Veterinary Advisory Council, which works closely with students and staff to help strengthen and enhance the program. Well, John Deere confirms that salaried employees, including executives, will not receive pay raises this fiscal year. This does not impact hourly workers who are covered by union contracts, but a Deere official says that a decision is a result of persistently low commodity prices and ongoing tariff disruptions. A partner at the Quad Cities Investment Group says that companies like John Deere have had to make cuts to both wages and staffing because other countries, including China, aren't buying fewer American crops.
As it kind of works through this process, we are seeing tremendous strain being placed on local farmers. And when those local farmers are facing strain, especially financial strain, it limits their ability to buy a lot of that farm equipment that John Deere manufactures and produces.
Well, back in August, Deere announced it would cut 238 jobs at its facilities in Moline, East Moline, and Waterloo, citing lower order volumes. And then in September, the company announced another 141 layoffs at its Waterloo and Des Moines operations. Well, there's snow on the ground right now, but it's not stopping progress on a construction project in Bureau County. Photojournalist Alex Montoya and myself toured a new facility that will ship grain across North America. We also talked with a farmer about the boost that it could bring his family business.
Got us early this year.
No matter the winter weather, farmer Rock Ketchnig has grain to move and sell.
Into Anawan, we can get 8 loads in one day.
This season, he's hauling his corn to the local ethanol plant. But next year, he'll have another spot to take his harvest.
We're building a grain elevator.
Aaron Rosengren works for Bartlett Grain.
We're connected from Canada to Mexico.
It's the company that's building this new facility east of Route 40 near Sheffield.
These are our 2 steel bins that'll each hold 630,000 bushels.
Farmers and local elevators will bring the grain in by truck. It'll then be held in bins and then transferred to a 120-car rail loop.
We have the capacity to dump 60 trucks an hour, which is a lot.
The grain will then be shipped by a Union Pacific rail line to Mexico.
How much grain are you hoping to push out a year or a month, or is there any statistics on that you're aiming for?
As much as possible, right? Yeah. Whatever the market allows.
It's a development that Bartlett hopes will benefit local farmers and the community too.
We're going to be able to serve farmers in this area with a competitive bid, fast unloading, excellent service, all the things that they need to be successful themselves.
Outside, the winter weather isn't stopping this crew either. They're putting bolts in bins and pouring concrete for silos this week. It means that they'll be open for business next fall. And over in Geneseo, that news
It's fabulous.
is good news for a winter-worn farmer like Rock. Haley Bickelhop, WQAD News 8. The new grain loading facility will hire about 30 local employees, and Bartlett also says that there'll be changes made to Illinois 40 to help with access and safety. Well, it's the biggest agriculture story of the week. The Trump administration is handing out $12 billion to American farmers. Now, most of that money will go to row crop producers, which are farmers who grow corn, soybeans, and other major field crops. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says that these one-time bridge payments are designed to help offset trade disruptions and rising input costs. And it's why I talked with Phil Four, a farmer in Taylor Ridge. He shares his thoughts on the payments and if he thinks it'll help farmers during a tough economic year. Okay, Phil, so this aid has been in the works for months now. What are your initial thoughts on this announcement?
Farmers are caught in a really tough position. No one wants to rely on a government subsidy check, or call it what you will, a bridge payment. Um, it puts us in a bad spot. Obviously, our markets have been distorted due to government policy, tariff policy, and it's been detrimental to us. No one wants to really accept a government check. We'd rather see market access, increased demand for our products, increased export demand, increased demand through things like renewable fuels, which have been very helpful in the last few years. But I think this so-called bridge payment is going to help a lot of people perhaps secure their loans to continue farming next year. So it's almost a necessity for quite a few people.
Right now, there's not a lot of details on the amount of money or just how this is all going to operate. But do you think that it's going to help farmers no matter what, or are there concerns that it's not going to be enough to really get them through to the next year?
That's a tough question. Markets are down significantly in some areas. We've had a huge supply. We've been very good at growing back-to-back very large crops, and that's hurt us. But watching our export demand walk away to other countries, we've lost a lot of soybean export to Brazil and Argentina. It doesn't look like that's going to come back overnight. We've lost the bulk of that export business that we used to sell to China as far as soybeans, and it's really hurt us.
Obviously, some of this money is in response to tariffs and the tariff negotiations. Do you think that this is hurting farmers so much right now that there's not a point of return, or do you have hope that some of these things will get worked out in the future and it will bring you more markets then?
I try to be optimistic. I want to believe that they're going to work out a trade deal, a trade package, and that long term it's going to be beneficial to us. This payment, I hope it bridges a gap. I hope it gets us into the next marketing year when we can see some of these trade plans, or hopefully an end to the trade war and actually some beneficial trade policy that's going to help us. The flip side of this is we've had a lot of inflation. We've had a lot of imported fertilizers, herbicides that have had tariffs placed on them, specifically by U.S. agribusinesses. And we've had an administration that has enabled that, and past administrations that have enabled that. And it actually has increased our cost of production quite a bit. And that's the other side of this that people really aren't addressing or looking at. High input prices have really accelerated and hurt quite a few farmers. You feel like you're taking in quite a bit of income, but it's all going out the other side with input costs. So that's the other side that's really hurting us right now as well.
So what's the answer? I mean, what would fix that? What would help farmers besides these payments that you're hopefully going to be seeing in February?
Well, I would hope long term that we can work on policy, trade policy that lowers input prices, such as removal of tariffs on certain fertilizers, certain herbicides, any of our inputs that we desperately need. A lot of our fertilizers aren't produced in this country. They're imported from other countries, and we need market access. And we also need market access on the other side when we export our grains that we grow more efficiently than anyone else. We need access to markets in China, markets all across this world. So trade policy is really important for us.
Thank you, Phil, for talking with us today, and we wish you good luck throughout the winter. The funding will be distributed through the USDA's Farm Service Agency, and farmers can expect those payments to be released by February 28th. Now, if you're a farmer in the area, you have less than a week until December 19th to make sure that your 2025 acreage report with the USDA's Farm Service Agency is accurate. That's the data that they'll use to distribute those payments. Well, I'm so glad that you could join us for Ag on 8. We'll see you back here next week.